Hello, my name is Marilyn, and I want to welcome you today to Exposing Grief. When we expose anything, it becomes less threatening. To expose loss and grief will provide us with some emotional control. In 2020, we laid the foundation for these conversations. Over 12 episodes, we explained how loss and grief can and does occur at any age or any stage in life. You can go back and listen to those foundational podcast episodes, or you can begin listening today as part of your personal journey to be more emotionally and mentally healthy. Today's topic is difficult and controversial. Difficult because the topic seems to cause more questions than answers, and controversial because there are some who believe that talking about suicide will trigger people to do it. I agree that talking about suicide brings up many questions. I do not agree that it causes more people to engage in the behavior. In fact, many of you know by now that I believe that knowledge is beneficial in every situation. The more information we have, then we are better able to navigate anything. Suicide seems to have even more stigma associated with it than talking about other death. Death talk is off limits, but a discussion about suicide is even more taboo, even among close family members. Suicide itself divides families in so many ways. Most of you also know that these are my personal experiences, observations, and opinions. Death of a child from sickness or an accident can cause couples to divorce. Suicide of a child causes as many or more couples to divorce. Suicide of a child causes as many or more couples to divorce. So people have to deal with emotional trauma on top of emotional trauma. This can lead to devastating consequences. What causes men, women, boys, and girls from all walks of life to believe that the only answer to their situation is suicide? I am a strong believer that every problem is temporary and has a solution. Some solutions are hard to find, but they can be uncovered. The answers may not be evident today or even tomorrow, but each day an answer is sought brings you closer to a breakthrough. Many times we can get stuck because we believe there is only one solution to our problem. Whether we have convinced ourselves it is more money, more friends, more time, or more whatever. If that more does not come, then we feel stuck and hopeless. Hopelessness leads to despair. Despair leads to depression, and it's downhill from there. The answers may not be more, but the answer is generally the right friend, the right opportunity, the right timing, or the right amount of money. Money does not keep people from committing suicide. When our options feel narrowed, we feel painted into an emotional corner with no way out. If we are unable to talk about suicide before it happens, and we cannot or will not talk about it after it happens, then how do we fight against something we refuse to engage with? What are some practical things we can do in order to fight back against suicide? If the subject comes up in a news report or as part of a family conversation, take time to discuss it. Be willing to have those hard conversations. By doing so, you may prevent even one person from taking their own life. Acknowledge that life can be hard sometimes and that no one has a perfect life. And I mean no one. Life has ups and downs, and sometimes making it through the downs can be quite challenging. Do not be afraid, ashamed, or embarrassed to seek professional assistance. Most people cannot get beyond suicidal thoughts on their own. Be willing to call someone if you want to end your life. It is an emergency. If you can get on the other side of that feeling, then you have a better chance of survival and a better chance at the life you deserve. The talents and gifts within you are to be shared with the world. Maybe your gifts will even bring joy to someone who is facing their own problems, which seem impossible. Yes, there are mean people out there, but they are in the minority. Seek out people who share your values because you are valuable. Some of the questions that can come up after a person takes their own life are, why did they do it? Why didn't they reach out to me? Did I do enough to show them I cared? Was I too hard on them? And many more questions. Do not torture yourself with the questions or the if-onlys. Questions without answers are always counterproductive. Grieve the loss of the person. Feel the pain of that loss. Time cannot be turned back, but maybe you can come up with a way to honor their memory. Truly, the person who commits suicide thinks the world will be better off without them. Unfortunately, they believe that lie. These conversations about loss, grief, and emotional well-being are necessary and perhaps well overdue. Be a part of these important conversations. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to visit with you next time on Exposing Grief.